I got a bone to pick with Samsung on about their 1, 2, 3, 4, hold on, give me a minute, 5 different cameras that's on this phone right here. And that is because, what up squad, your boy CKid here, y'all, and today, man, we got two titans, two kings. We got the iPhone 14 Pro versus the Galaxy Z Fold 4, y'all, and we're gonna be breaking everything down in this video about my personal experience with using both of these devices over the past couple of weeks. And I'm gonna be giving y'all the good, the bad, as well as the ugly about both of these devices, y'all, and letting you guys know which one I think is the best. No fluff, none of that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so the very first thing we got to talk about with both of these devices has to come down to the build quality. Now, starting with the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now, if I'm being real with y'all, this phone here, y'all, is a tank, and I mean that literally, y'all. When it comes to like the hinge system on this device, I feel like it's just a much better quality than the previous models, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the materials that they use, I also feel like the materials on this device is also top tier and premium for sure. Now, the button placements I also feel is natural, because I hate a lot of times when you have these button placements on these devices where I feel like sometimes the button placements is either too high on the phone or it's too low, and it just kind of throws off the entire vibe of the phone. But on here, y'all, you can see that that's not the case. I can easily unlock and lock my phone. I can change the volume. I can increase the volume. Like literally, y'all, having no problems with that at all. Now, another thing I gotta tell you is, y'all know I don't rock a case on my phone. So I dropped my phone the other day. I'm being transparent here. I dropped my phone the other day. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was super nervous because I dropped it on the camera side too. And you know how you hear that smack when it hits the ground? That's what I heard, and I thought it was over, y'all. I thought it was game over. I turned it around, and you can see right here, y'all, there's literally no scratches or anything on the back of this phone, y'all, which lets me know, hey, this phone here is built for it tough. Now, when it comes to the iPhone 14 Pro, same thing here, y'all. I feel like it has the same matte backend that we also get, and I'm glad that a lot of these flagship devices nowadays is actually coming out with this style because it doesn't necessarily show fingerprints, which is good for me since y'all know I don't rock cases on my devices. Now, also on the side here, you're getting like this stainless steel that kind of matches the color of the phone, which is something that I like more over the Z Fold 4, because the Z Fold 4, you can see here, like they went with like this stainless steel silver that kind of stands out a little bit more than what I would personally like. But nonetheless, y'all, it helps with making the phone look premium on this phone right here. Now, it's been solid even with me not wearing any case on it, and yeah, I know I'm a rebel. You can call me that down in the comments. I'm curious, y'all, let me know. Are you no case gang? Let me know, man, if you know case gang in the comments. I know it's some of y'all out there, y'all told me in them comments, but overall, y'all, man, I think between both of these devices right here, whether the iPhone 14 Pro, both of these are solid built devices, and I don't really think you're gonna have any issues build quality wise, and I don't really think that that's really a deciding factor between both of these devices. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the displays. As to me, this is an important thing as we look at these displays literally on an everyday basis. Now, this is where you guys are going to notice, to me, the obvious difference between these two phones, because the Z Fold 4 here has 2 displays and the iPhone 14 Pro only has the 1. But starting with the iPhone 14 Pro screen here, let's kind of just talk about this screen here for a second. To me, y'all, the screen quality I feel is really good. You're getting a Retina XDR display that just looks super crispy, y'all, when watching like YouTube, Netflix, whether you're even on like Instagram, Twitter, all of that, it's gonna look good on the screen. Now, one thing I have to give credit to the iPhone 14 Pro over something like the Z Fold 4, and that is the screen brightness. Having that 2000 nits level of screen brightness, I'm telling y'all, has been clutch. So many times I've been out and about in direct sunlight when using this device here, and it's been no problem when viewing content on this display. Like, it's a damn good screen, y'all. And to me, y'all, I feel like 2000 nits should now be the standard when it comes to this, because I feel like on the Z Fold 4, it's a good screen. Don't get me wrong, but there's a couple things about this screen here that I don't like. And one being having viewing this in direct sunlight, I feel like 17, I think it's like 1750 nits brightness on this screen. And even when I even use like that, like I think it's like an extra brightness feature mode that you can see, that you can get on here, I still feel like it could be a little bit brighter. Now, it's not a deal breaker or anything like that, because between this display as well as the inside display, they both look good. Let's go ahead and start with this front display here. Now, I like how Samsung gave us more real estate on this screen here. So let me go ahead and stop this real quick. Now, I like how Samsung gave us more screen real estate on this screen to be able to, like, now I feel really use this display like on a daily basis without having to always open up the phone. Honestly, y'all, if I'm not watching any content, I really tend to use like this outer display here a little bit more than I do on the inside, because to me, I still feel like it's the perfect size to be able to type on. You can browse the web, browse IG, Twitter, all of that you need to do. But I still feel like if I need to watch like YouTube content and stuff like that, then that's where like this whole inside display kind of comes into play. And it's like, it's king, y'all. Like this phone right here, when it comes to watching content, I'm telling y'all, it's the best phone out for doing that. Watching content on the inside display here looks damn good, y'all. Like it is king. Now, I don't know if it just makes the content seem more immersive or whatever it is. It's fire. Now, I also like how both screens on this phone here are also treated separately. So let's say like I'm on the front display, like you can see right here, I have my home phone screen set up here. But when I actually swipe to the next screen, I got my email widget here. So that way I can quickly respond to emails, which is typically what I do on this phone here. But if I go ahead and open it, I have a similar setup here. But you can see when I swipe to the second screen here, I got my whole Netflix widget set up, since I tend to watch a lot of like Netflix content here, right? And side note, y'all, if y'all on that Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm telling y'all, the Jeffrey Dahmer, like, that documentary or whatever, or show, whatever it is, it's fire, y'all. You definitely gotta check it out. But if I had to give an edge, honestly, y'all, it's a tough one because they both are solid screens. But because of the level of tech that's inside of the Z Fold 4, having like these two screens that kind of flow from like a small screen to a bigger screen while still being able to act independently from each other, I just feel like that's some dope tech to me. But y'all let me know down in the comment section below, which screen do you guys think looks the best. But honestly, y'all, in my opinion, I feel like they both on par with each other, and whichever one you go with is gonna look good. All right, y'all, so the next thing we gotta talk about, and that is the cameras on both of these devices here. And this is where I got a bone to pick with Samsung on about their 1, 2, 3, 4, hold on, give me a minute, 5 different cameras that's on this phone right here. And that's because I don't necessarily know what Samsung is doing with their cameras, but it does this weird skin lightening thing that I just cannot stand. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems like all of the photos that I take of like darker skinned people like myself, regardless of the camera, y'all, I get this weird skin tone lightening thing, and I just can't stand it. I don't know if it's like an effect that they're throwing on the photos, but I hate it, y'all. Now, if I'm taking photos of like an object or a plant or whatever it might be that's not people, I feel like it does a really good job on it as far as color accuracy. But with darker skin tones, it's not for me, y'all. And I'm just got to be honest. And yes, y'all, I've tried all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras on this phone here, y'all. And if I'm being honest, y'all, this under display camera here, it's not that good at all. Like, it's good for like Zoom, as like Google calls and stuff like that, but I would not use this under the display camera for selfies. Although I do like how they added more pixels here to be able to hide it, because you really got to be looking for it now in order to see it. Like, let me know if you can see it just from me having it right here on the screen. Like, honestly, you can't even see it, but it's right here. It's right there. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, this main sensor, high megapixel sensor camera here, I think is good. But I do wish they would have still given us the same camera that we got on something like the Galaxy S22 Ultra. I feel like the Galaxy S22 Ultra camera is definitely better versus like the 50 megapixel camera that we get right here, which is still in comparison to the iPhone 48 megapixel camera that we get here. But I still think if we have the technology of having 108 megapixel on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, then just give us that. Like, you got it. Just give it to us. And I know what some of y'all gonna say out there. Yeah, CKid, you can just go ahead and just take a raw photo and then edit it. But honestly, y'all, if I'm just being real, do I really want to like snap a photo and every photo I take, I gotta edit it? Like, I just want to be able to snap a quick pic, post it on socials without having to edit. And with this camera, y'all, although it's good, I don't really feel that I can do that. I was actually hoping at this price point, like, we would have something that is solid enough to whereas I don't really have to do all of that, right? Now, let's go ahead and move on and talk about video quality on this phone right here. I feel like for video qualities with this phone, like, it looks really good. But there's a big but here. What up, y'all? So right now, man, I'm standing in front of this wall here, man, a graffiti wall that's downtown here. But man, just look at the artwork, man. It just looks super fire, y'all. But nonetheless, man, I am testing out the front-facing camera here on the iPhone 14 Pro versus the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Let me know which one of y'all think looks the best in quality using the front-facing camera. When you take it off of the phone and put it onto a computer, I just kind of feel like it falls apart a little bit. Now, when you compare it to something like the iPhone is bringing, it's no question an inferior device when it comes to the cameras to me. I feel like the iPhone camera quality, as well as the tech that they putting into this phone right here, y'all, is next level. And if you guys are wanting a camera to post on socials that retains a lot of the quality, then I would go with the iPhone for sure. And starting with photos, because we got to talk about photos on the iPhone, I feel like iPhone has the photo game down, period. Now, I'm not saying that the color accuracy is the best on iPhone either, because I feel like Google kind of handles that the best. But Apple tends to lean a little bit more on the warmer tones and more contrasty look, which is something that I would prefer over what Samsung is giving us, which they tend to lean a little bit more on like the cooler tones, which sometimes could like, I don't know, it just adds this weird like hue or this brightness to it. It just doesn't look good. But overall, y'all, photos straight out of camera as well as video, it's just fire. And honestly, I feel like the iPhone 14 Pro is in a league of its own when it comes to video quality, because I used that cinematic mode for the first time on this phone, y'all, and I was blown away by how good the quality is over the Z Fold 4. So the fact that I can get crazy cinematic looks with this phone here, y'all, and be able to like switch the focus while recording, as well as being able to switch the focus in post, like after I've already recorded the video, it's like some pure witchcraft, like, but in a good way. Like, it really works good, y'all. Like, and I'm not just saying that. Now, normal video quality on this phone also looks good. Like, I feel like it's vibrant, it's clean on the iPhone 14 Pro than the Galaxy Z Fold 4 to me. Now, trust me, I get it. I understand that the Z Fold 4, y'all, is more of a productivity kind of phone first, right? But I feel like when it comes to cameras, I gotta go iPhone every time, y'all. I just gotta keep it honest. Now, speaking of productivity, y'all, this is where I feel the Galaxy Z Fold 4 literally crushes the iPhone in every single way. Now, having like a larger inner display, y'all, it allows for you guys to be able to do a lot of multitasking. And until then, since I've been like recently into trading and investing, and I use multitasking a lot, y'all, and I feel like it handles it smooth with no hiccups at all. Now, although it can go up to like, I think it's like 3 or 4 multitask windows, I only really tend to use 2 at a time, but it is clutch, where I feel like the iPhone 14 Pro not having the ability for multitasking kind of cripples this phone for me. And I feel like iPhone should start thinking about possibly the future of having something that's going to be a little bit more, at least give us like 2, whereas we can have something on the top as well as something on the bottom. Because even on this phone here, y'all, having something like an S Pen, which I have my S Pen over there somewhere, but having an S Pen to be able to like quickly sign documents and all of that, y'all, the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is a productivity giant, y'all. So, and when it comes to productivity and you want something that's gonna be a great business phone, oh, I'm going Galaxy Z Fold like hands down every single time. Now, the next thing we gotta talk about, y'all, between both of these devices is the operating system. Now, this was a tough one for me because I like both of these for multiple reasons, but we're going to start with the iPhone 14 Pro because there's some things on this Z Fold 4 here that I don't really feel like anybody's talking about, but we're going to talk about it here. So running iOS 16 to me, y'all, has been smooth. Like, I think it's really good. To me, I think it's Apple's best OS that they've released in a while. Now, I'm going to be doing a video where I'm going to be showing you guys my top 10 of my top iOS 16 features, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But the ability of having multiple lock screens for certain needs is clutch, y'all. Like, it's one of those things where I didn't think I needed it until I had it. Now, the ability to be able to have one for like focusing or, you know, if I want to quickly access my socials is dope. Having that level of customization from a lock screen perspective is fire. Now, I wish they did still give us the ability to be able to alter our grid, and it's kind of annoying that Apple still don't let us do that. Now, I know we can add like widgets and different things like that, but it's not the same customization that I can get like on my Galaxy device. Also, another thing I like having is always on display on the iPhone 14 Pro. And before y'all say it, because I know y'all gonna say it, Samsung been had it, I get that, but it is nice to see that Apple has finally kind of joined the game with this feature, and I feel like Apple has done it just a little bit better when you kind of compare it to like what they get on the Galaxy devices. But overall, y'all, I feel like iOS 16 is dope. Now, when it comes to the Galaxy Z Fold 4 running Android 12, it's also really good, y'all, and it's smooth. And there's really only 2 main issues that I have, which are not really that big of a deal. Well, I guess one of them is kind of a big deal, and that is opening up the phone. Sometimes I feel like it kind of takes a while for it kind of like to render, especially like if you guys are playing a video or something like that. I just feel like the fluidity of having one screen and kind of going to the next kind of takes a little longer to render than I would like. Now, another thing I got to point out that I really haven't seen anybody talk about, but it's this weird thing where the phone will lock itself if anything that has like a magnet comes to the back here of this phone. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm back, y'all. So I got my AirPods here, and I want to show y'all this because I haven't seen anybody talk about this. But when I have my AirPods or whatever else, like if you put anything that has like a magnet towards the back of this camera right here, towards the top, it like locks the phone. So check this out. So I don't have my finger. My finger is not on the lock button here. You can see my phone here is clearly unlocked. Now check this out. I'm just going to put this right next to my back of my camera. Now check this out. Watch it lock the phone. Boom. It just locks the phone. It's super weird. I don't know what's back here, but it's kind of annoying. Now, you probably like a CKid. How in the world did you notice this? So I noticed this when I set my phone down on my computer. It like kept locking like over and over and over. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I just discovered, I was like, okay, it must be something on the back of this phone. And then I kept sitting it down there and I noticed that on my MacBook Pro, there's like towards the touchpad, there's magnets right there. So then I would sit it right there and it would keep locking. So I was like, you know what? Let me just see what would happen. So I took my AirPods because I know there's a magnet back here, and I just put it right here, boom, and it just locks every single time. But I think software wise, these actually serve two like types of different people, because if you are the type of person out there that you want or need like high-end phone for like productivity, then I feel like the Galaxy Z Fold 4 I feel is the best option for you, and it offers a whole lot of features for like multitasking that I love, as well as being able to kind of like, I mean, it is a content viewing powerhouse. As well as on the iPhone 14 Pro, I feel like if you just kind of want that traditional style iPhone, then I think you're going to love this phone as well. But overall, y'all, I feel like software wise, I feel like both of the OSs is, it's solid. Now, last before we actually get into which one I actually think is better overall, I want to touch real quick on the battery life on both of these devices. Now, for me, y'all, I feel like the iPhone 14 Pro wins in this department hands down, but that's not really to kind of knock the Z Fold 4, and I'm going to tell you guys why. But first, the iPhone 14 Pro battery life is really good. I'm easily getting like all day usage out of this phone, even with the always on display, because I know there was a whole thing with that, but trust me, y'all, always on display does not burn the battery that much on the iPhone. Now, when it comes to the Galaxy Z Fold 4 here, I'm also able to get through my workday with this phone, and it's actually close to being like an all day battery life, like when you actually are using this phone on a constant all day basis, because I'm still getting through my workday, which is cool for me, because really that's really all I need. Because after that, once I get home, I'm like near my chargers and all of that, so I can just plug it up or whatever. But I can't say that the Z Fold 4 battery drains faster than the iPhone 14 Pro is a bad thing for battery life, because you kind of have to think that the Z Fold 4 is powering two separate displays, and that's a lot to handle, y'all. And to me, this is why I'm mostly okay with the battery life on the Z Fold 4, with it not necessarily being an all-day battery, but I can still get through my workday with this phone here. And to me, y'all, I'm good with that. But if they can get it to be a little bit better, then I'll take that too. So you're probably wondering, CKid, which one of these phones is better, the iPhone 14 Pro or the Galaxy Z Fold 4? Which one should you guys get? Honestly, y'all, I feel like it comes down to the type of person that you guys are. I feel the iPhone 14 Pro is a solid device that has a whole lot going for it. The cameras, I feel, are better than the Z Fold 4 in my opinion. I feel like the battery life is better, but we kind of talked about that. iOS 16 is hella dope, and overall, y'all, it's just a solid device. I would say, if you guys are like a content creator, or you just a person who wants a device that makes it easy to just pull your phone out, capture a moment with the camera without the need of editing, or, easily be able to airdrop and send and share files to your devices, and you like the Apple ecosystem, then I feel like the iPhone 1 is probably going to be the best bet for you. Also, keep in mind that iPhone's resale value is much better than Samsung devices, because y'all know them Samsung devices don't be holding their value at all, which is why I recommend you guys wait on buying these phones if you guys are in the Samsung ecosystem, because you're going to get a lot of money off these phones if you guys wait. Now, when it comes to the Z Fold 4, If you want that ultimate productivity business phone that has 2 amazing displays that allows for multitasking, best phone for viewing video content in my personal opinion. The cameras on it is pretty solid, and it also has USB-C, which is another fact that I love. The fact that I can only carry, all I gotta carry is just one cable, and it also has its own ecosystem and just a fun phone overall to just be able to do this. Just opening and closing this bad boy all day. It's just a fun experience on its own. But most importantly, y'all, just decide, y'all, which ecosystem that you guys would rather be a part of. Is it iOS or is it Android? I don't know. That's really a decision that you guys got to make. But let me know y'all thoughts down in the comment section below, and make sure y'all hit that like button as well as hit that subscribe button, because we on our way. We grinding to that 100K mark, y'all. Let's get it. And like always, man, make your move and always remember your why. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Or I'll see y'all tomorrow. Squad.